Bravo, Japan. Bravo. Take notes, Hollywood. This is how you make a freaking movie. Hey everyone, it's Firebolt Zero, and I just finished watching the movie Shin Godzilla, or Godzilla Resurgence. It goes by both names. And I gotta say, this is gotta be the best movie I have seen in 2016. Like, at least for me, this is definitely the best movie I've seen. And, like, holy crap, was this good. There was so many things in this movie that it's gonna take a while to explain, but I'm gonna cut it down because I don't want to go into, like, say 20 minutes explaining why this movie was so good. But let's go. Now, I'm not gonna spoil the movie, or at least I'm gonna try my best not to. So, alright. First things first. This movie had a lot of different emotions in it. There was, like, so many feels I was going through watching this. I was just like breathtaking. Like, I'm glad I didn't end up, crying after I just walked out the theater, but it was just amazing. It was just like thank you for this movie. That's just like, I know I feel like I'm repeating myself saying all this, but it's just like, this movie was that good. So Godzilla Resurgence is basically a retelling of the old classic, very first Godzilla movie. And the way they do it is just, like, amazingly good. This is, every step of the way I was entertained. Like, my jaw dropped so many times watching this movie. I was just like, every scene, well, okay, most scenes, I had my jaw drop, but there were a few scenes that were just, like, just wasn't that exciting to the point where my jaw would drop. Now, mind you, this movie is Japanese, so they did have English subtitles thanks to Funimation, but like, there was also some English lines in there, so like throwing in Japanese and English in some moments, it was, that part I didn't really have a problem with, but I could totally see how some people might get a little confused by that. I think one of the tiny things I had a problem with, not so much like, to the point where I was like, oh, but because this movie was that good, but one of the small things I had a problem with was the fact that they had so many different meanings in this movie. I don't know if that's too much of a spoiler, but in this movie there are a lot of meanings in there, a lot of tough decisions, a lot of politics, a lot of that goes on in this movie. But it wasn't bad, but it was just like, really? You guys have to have a meaning for everything? Literally everything they do, there's always a freaking meaning involved. But again, those meetings weren't really too much of a problem. It wasn't like, oh, that there's a meeting in this movie now, this movie is crap. Nah. It was like very minor, so it barely bothered me at all. It's just the fact that I noticed that happened a lot in this movie. But my favorite scene in this movie was extremely emotionally confusing for me. That has never happened to me ever. When I'm watching a movie, I feel emotionally confused. It was when the atomic breath scene, when Godzilla uses his atomic breath. That was just like a lot of different feels, because on one half, my inner child is like, whoa, yeah! Yes! Yes! But on the other hand, I'm seeing this, I'm like, oh my god, there's so much destruction and agony and sorrow. Yeah, I was a little I was like at war with myself when I saw this scene, and I was just like, how should I feel about this? But again, this was another jaw-dropping scene, so I was like, I was like watching this and I was like, holy crap, like, are you, like, what? I couldn't think at that point. It's like, that scene was amazing to the point where I couldn't even think. It had a really good effect on people, like knowing how to draw each emotion for each scene. It was beautifully done, and you knew how to feel when you were watching the scenes. Like each emotion in the scenes just like came out naturally. It's like naturally done. Like you want to feel sorrow? Done. You want to feel happiness? Done. You want to feel bravery? Done. You want to feel smart? Done. 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 They kept doing every scene like that. It was like amazingly well. And again, another reason why I love this movie is they just touch on the feels, they draw to each emotion you need to feel in this movie. At least that's how I felt when watching it. I just don't understand how Godzilla, the king of all monsters, somehow wasn't popular enough to be everywhere, in every movie theater. I mean, there must have been some reason for it, but still, how is it that this movie wasn't everywhere? I mean, clearly there were people who were interested in seeing this movie, because when I went to the movie theater to see it, there were like a lot of people there wanting to see this movie. And I was like, awesome, there's a lot of Godzilla fans. But the fact that this was so limited, I just like, I don't understand why. Hopefully I'll understand later in the future. Anyway, this movie, beautiful, definitely watch it, 10 out of 10. And that's all I have to say about it without spoiling this movie. Anyway, this is Firebolt Zero signing out, and remember, stay golden. Now if you'll excuse me, I gotta go see the original Godzilla.